Women's Wellness Authority is your go-to podcast for discovering the hidden gems of holistic health and well-being. In each episode, we dive deep into the many layers of wellness, from mental and physical health to spiritual growth. Through insightful interviews with experts, healers, and thought leaders, we uncover alternative approaches, healing practices, and fresh perspectives that empower you to transform your life. Whether you're seeking innovative ways to heal your body, your mind, or nourish your soul, this podcast offers practical tools and wisdom to help you thrive in all areas of your life. Let's rewrite the rules of wellness together. Step into your power, reclaim your health, and discover what it means to truly thrive from the inside out. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Women's Wellness Authority podcast. I am beyond excited today to have a very special guest on today's episode. She is not only a gifted and very talented Reiki healer, but she is one of my very best friends and my biggest supporter. So, Lori, thank you for joining us today, and welcome to the WWA community.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Diana, for having me. I am so excited to be on here and so proud of you as you are launching your awesome podcast.
So Lori and I have been friends for, I figured out like about 10 years or so. Lori had two and I had one, just one at the time, but our littles were tiny little babies. And I think one of us got brave enough to just say hello to the other in our daycare parking lot. And the rest is history. We've been through a lot over the last 10 years, a divorce, a really big move from the Northeast to the Southeast, job challenges, job changes, relationship changes. But through all of that, and I think the most recent is really supporting each other as we start building our own wellness businesses, which is really, really exciting. So Lori is here today. We're going to talk a little bit about Reiki, just sort of boiling down and giving everybody understanding of what Reiki is, if those are not familiar. And then we have a really special treat at the end. Lori is going to do a guided meditation specifically focused on grounding. We'll talk a little bit about what that means, and along with a little bit of distance Reiki, which we'll talk about how that works. So Lori, my first question that I always like to ask anybody is about their journey, their wellness journey, and how you got to today, how you got to become a Reiki healer. So I will turn that over to you.
Okay, thank you. I guess I'll throw it out there that Reiki is not religious. It can aid in a spiritual practice. And I think for me, have been a long time trying to connect to what that spiritual practice looks like for me. And I sort of tested out a couple different things to see what worked. And I was invited to join a women's Reiki circle. I didn't know what Reiki was. I had no idea. But there was something about it in that moment and being surrounded by like-minded women and feeling this universal energy that day, that I was like,
how long ago was that?
That was probably like at least 15 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it took me even, once I sort of experienced that for the first time, it took me a long time to get back into it and figure out what it was and how can I incorporate that into my own practice. So I had tested that out. I felt connected. I knew that I had a calling to help other people. It wasn't necessarily like, how can I practice every day or meditate every day? Like I didn't know what that was for me, but I knew that I had something bigger I wanted to do and help other people. So eventually I had tried Reiki on myself and I was like, this is, on a one-on-one healing. And I was like, this is it. This is how I want to help people. And so then I started to dabble a little bit, and it was the same time as COVID was happening and I was going through a divorce and, I didn't have any job uncertainty at the time, but I want something for me that I can continue to grow and practice on my own that's really aligned to me. So I got certified and trained in all 3 levels of Reiki. So I am a Reiki Master Teacher, kind of dabbling, and you test it on yourself, and it is sort of like meditation for me because that is how I kind of take the time out for myself.
So can you explain to the community what is Reiki?
So Reiki is a Japanese energy healing practice, and it translates to Rei is the universal, so everything around us, and Ki is the life energy. So, again, it's not religious, but it's that energy that connects us all to each other. As a practitioner, I'm channeling that energy to then open up space for the person to then heal, right? So I'm not healing anybody. I'm not, performing miracles, but I'm channeling that energy to then open up space within someone's energy field and body that they might not know is there. So it really brings body, mind, and soul into balance and finds a space where you need it for healing. You might be going through something health related. You might be going through something because of stress. You might have had trauma that you're just holding on to in your body. So again, Reiki healing is just that deep relaxation that can kind of open up that space. And everyone's experience is different.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I'll say from my perspective, my mom is also Reiki certified. And so when I was in high school, I believe that's when she got her certification. And so I often, was the subject that she practiced on, which was wonderful. But even after that, I wasn't always sure when you think about like being a practitioner, how do people equate that to like a massage where they're physically getting touched? And they say, well, why am I going to spend my money on Reiki? Come in, I don't get touched at all. Is that going to actually really help heal or relieve stress? For those of you who have received Reiki, I have received many, many sessions from Lori. I can attest the fact that you don't need to be touched in order to actually feel the effect of it. But what would you say to people who have maybe thought about wanting to try it, but have been really hesitant for those reasons that I outlined?
Well, it's actually really funny that you bring up that about a massage because I like to say that Reiki is like a massage for your soul.
I love that.
Because it really is. It really does promote that deep relaxation that you might feel when you are experiencing a massage. And like I said, it doesn't have to be spiritual, but it can sort of deepen your practice if you want to deepen your spiritual healing, your spiritual practice. And it is that self-care where you're taking the time out for yourself, but you're going just a little bit deeper than you would when you're going for a massage or getting your nails done. And it really does promote relaxation and balance, clarity and peace. Like it just kind of, again, opens up that space. So some people might feel it physically. They might feel tingling. They might feel tired. They might feel relaxed. They might start to see colors in their mind as they're relaxing. And those colors could mean nothing, or they could be tied to maybe their chakra points or where they're opening. And you can even have effects afterwards. Like you might start to just notice your surroundings a little bit differently. Like you might see the wind blowing a little bit more. You might see the trees seem more vibrant.
That's because you're more in balance,
You're
right?
just more in balance. You're a little bit more open to what's happening around you. You're definitely going to feel more present to what that might be. And so that's on the outside. Your body's doing that on the inside and you don't even realize it.
Yeah, I remember there was one session where I think it was when you were first starting out and I came over to your house
Mhm.
and you were working on me. And so as the receiver of Reiki, I could feel like whooshing of energy throughout my body. And I thought you were at my head. Again, you weren't touching me, but you were at my feet. Cause I remember at the end, I asked you, like, were you pressing on my legs? And you had said, I didn't touch you at all. And there were so many times where I felt like you were holding my head or holding my feet down. And that's just because those are different areas that you're working on me. And I have not personally experienced feeling of being very overwhelmed or feeling out of control during those sessions. My mind will race, but then
Mhm.
eventually quiets, just very similar to like a meditation practice. And you've mentioned your practice or someone's practice. So what do you mean when you refer to that?
So like a practice would just sort of be doing or receiving Reiki healing sessions on a regular basis. It can be as frequent or as infrequent as you need, but it's that practice of tuning into yourself, allowing yourself to be open to receiving the energy. Again, it could be in the moment, it can be twice a month, it can be once a week. It kind of whatever you feel like you need, right? Personally, I like when I'm working on somebody, I'm a little bit more intuitive. And I also think when someone's open to receiving Reiki energy, they're going to be a little bit intuitive and they might be a little hesitant at first too, right? So they might not have a regular practice. They might say, let me try this once. And that worked for me for a few years too, until I figured out what it was that I was trying to tap into for myself.
So as a practitioner, when you're saying that you're intuitive, do you get messages for the individual about their life or what's going on in their body? Can you
Yes.
maybe explain that a little
Yes.
bit? I find that so interesting.
Sure. Yeah, sometimes I do. So your body is connected, right? Like you have points in your feet that are maybe connected all the way throughout your body. And so again, right? Like I was working on your feet, but you felt it in your head. So there could be that connection. And what I like to do is talk to the person afterwards, not necessarily before. Maybe before, just to get an idea of where they are in their life. How open are they to this? Is there something specific that they want to heal? But your physical body is also sending you messages at the same time that you could be receiving them energetically. I will receive messages maybe about parts of their body. I might receive sort of a message that just says, like, be open to your dreams. Like it might be something not specific to me, but that they might understand it. It might be, you need to focus on yourself. I feel like you're overwhelmed, you're under a lot of stress. And they might turn around and say, yeah, I actually have been going through a lot at work and I'm really stressed and I haven't told anybody. So I might feel that somewhere in their body or like in their throat, right? Communication. It might make sense to me that I'm feeling a lot of energy. They're feeling my presence there because they need to address something.
Because the throat, that's where the throat chakra
The
is. And
throat
if you're
chakra is,
feeling
yep.
blockage there, then that often leads to the ability to not communicate really what they're feeling, correct? Yeah.
Exactly.
And I can remember actually, I have a question about like physically being together or distance and what the differences
Yeah.
there are. But I remember specifically, it was about 2 months ago, and I had a pretty big life change and got laid off from my corporate job. And I was really, really down and really, really just having a hard time processing everything. And Lori just called and said, let's just do a quick session. And I had not really done distance before. And I said, okay, sure. Within those 20 minutes, I actually felt at peace and I felt so much clearer the next couple days that I felt like I was able to actually take like weights off my shoulder. And that was just, we sat for 20, 25 minutes. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that. Do you actually have to be physically together in the same room for Reiki to work?
Yeah. So that's actually a really good question. No, you do not have to be physically present in the same room. You don't even have to be on a call with me. It's the intention as the practitioner and channeler that I can then send this energy, right? And send this intention energetically for someone to pick up when they're ready to receive it. The body gets, messages. But so I've done Reiki distance healing virtually. I like to connect to personally, like over Zoom, so we can kind of see each other and again, kind of have that open discussion, or sending out a message to someone and say, okay, we're not even looking at each other, but I'm going to sit and send my Reiki energy and work on you at this time. Let's follow up after. And then that would be the same thing in person. And I still like to create that relaxation and safe space for someone to feel like they can relax and just kind of get comfortable in that setting.
So for anyone that has not gotten Reiki before, what would be your biggest piece of advice for them?
Oh, I would just say go into it with no expectation. Just be open minded because when you're open minded, that's when you're open to receiving the messages, the healing. But at the same time, some stuff might come up for you. And if you're not ready to deal with that, you might want to talk about it or go into it slowly. As a Reiki practitioner, should I get a message that seems a little bit more heavy or intense than the person is looking for? We would ease into it and sort of like unraveling what that might look like. Right, like the body holds on to messages and blockages and things like that. Again, this really it promotes relaxation and promotes unblocking those
It's
areas.
almost like therapy for your soul,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is.
You're not a psychologist for the brain, but you're working on
Yeah,
the brain too, but you're just doing it through energy healing and really speaking to the person's soul to help them sort of be able to process some of those things.
that's it. Your body is holding on to memories and stress, right, in those chakra points, or even just memories that okay, how do I deal with it? Well, we'll take that memory and kind of figure out what chakra that's tied to and how to change those patterns that aren't working for you. And so I would say as a first time, just go into it with almost no expectations, just to relax and take it from there. And then you'll start your healing journey. Again, even if it's just to remove stress and not to deal with something.
So I know you talked a little bit about practices, and I think one really big practice for everyone that they can do very easily is a meditation practice. And so today we're going to focus on a guided meditation that you're going to lead us through. So for anybody that is currently driving, this is probably a perfect time to pause the episode and wait until you can be home or somewhere safe where you can close your eyes and get the full benefits of what Lori's going to walk through. For those of you who are not driving, do not hit pause, just continue to listen. We're going to focus on a guided meditation for grounding. So Lori, before we jump into that and I pass it over to you, can you maybe talk about the concept of grounding and what that means?
Yeah, sure. So grounding is just allowing yourself to be present in the moment, not think about the stress, not think about the everyday little things that you have going on. Just focus on yourself. And there's other ways to kind of figure out what you need to stay grounded and stay present. But, during this meditation, we'll just get connected, stay focused in the moment. And then I will be silent, but I will be offering distance Reiki to you. So again, stay with your breath in that moment.
All right. So should our listeners just find a comfy seat?
Yeah. Find a comfy seat. You can lay down. You can sit upright in a chair with your feet touching the ground or lay down. And so I'll invite everyone to close their eyes once they get settled and take a deep breath in through their nose and take an audible breath out through your mouth. And we'll do this 2 more times at your own pace. A deep breath in. One more time. And just follow your own breath at your own pace. You'll feel the air coming in through your nose and exiting. Warmth. And just turn your attention inside into yourself, into your body. And I want you to feel your feet on the ground, or if you're laying down, feel the ground beneath you, supporting you. And just take notice of the sensations in your legs and your hips, up through your stomach and your chest, your back. And feel it in your shoulders. And allow yourself to drop the shoulders or let them sink into the ground or the pillow you might be laying on. Let your arms feel heavy at your sides. Relax your hands. Unclench your fists. Relax your neck and your jaw. Relax your eyes and your cheekbones. And maybe unfurl your eyebrows. Take notice if you're scrunching or holding onto anything in your head and your face. And allow your head to just feel heavy if you're laying back or sitting up. And as you feel your body and you're present within your body, imagine your roots coming from your feet and your body deep into the earth. And see if you can feel any sensation as you ground down. And you can visualize these roots going deep into the earth, passing through rock, dirt, roots of trees, grounding you deep into the earth that we live on, that supports us, provides us with nutrients, all the way through the center. And feel the warmth of the center of the earth. And take notice of your breath. Allow me to offer distance Reiki. Continue to breathe at your own pace. Maybe you start to feel your fingers tingle and you can wiggle them, your toes, and your feet, your arm. You can move your head side to side. Maybe flutter your eyes open. And at your own pace, sit up. Thank you for allowing me to guide you and send some energy your way.
Thank you so much, Lori. What a treat. I'm ready for a nap. I feel nice and relaxed. So for anyone that is listening and interested in learning more and want to connect with Lori, if you can go to any of my accounts, you can get information so that you can connect directly with her. But Lori, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. And hopefully we can have you back to do another guided meditation with us.
Absolutely.
See you next week, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Women's Wellness Authority. If today's conversation inspired you, shifted your perspective, or sparked something within you, I'd be so grateful if you'd subscribe, leave a review, or share this episode with someone who might need it the most. Have a story of your own or something you'd like to share? I'd love to hear from you. You can connect with me on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at Women's Wellness Authority. Please note the content shared on this podcast is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult with a qualified healthcare provider regarding your health and wellness decisions. Until next time, stay curious, stay empowered, and most of all, stay well. Thanks, everyone.